Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? It's wee Paddy from across the shuck, and you're very welcome. Today's video is going to be a Jack Wolf knives versus Jack Wolf knives, and it's the Jack Wolf knife slip joint, which we have had for this last year now. We've had the slip joint version, and then Ben completely shocked everybody by making a locking version this month, which is just such a bold. It just shocked everybody that it went, because he's had a roaring success with these. I think these are some of the best knives you can buy anywhere. Yes, we've all got different flavors that we like, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of a battle. Now, bear in mind, I've had this longer than this. I've only had this a couple of days, but there's a couple of points that I need to get out for me, and there's nothing controversial about what I'm going to say, and I'm not here to run anything down, but there is points that I think that I need to put out that for me, as each reviewer likes different types of knives. I'm a slip joint guy mostly, but I like all knives. I like all knives a lot. But this is my favorite Jack Wolf knife so far. This is just the perfect size for my hands. It's got the perfect blade. I love a clip point. The carbon fiber on this, it just excites me. When I look at this knife, I just get excited. It is just beautiful in hand, beautifully sized blade for everything that I'll ever need to do on an EDC basis. This is perfect to me. And this one is in, what's this one in? I can't even remember now. Shows you how much it matters to me what the steel is. Oh, this is S90V2. Right, there we go. So this one's an S90V. See, the difference between S90V and M390, like the earlier was, it doesn't make much of a difference to most of us in our everyday lives. I'm speaking for me. As long as it's a good, the hollow grind in is absolutely super. So everything about this knife, this is my favorite Jack Wolf knives, and I'm going to be bold enough to put it up against this first iteration of a locking knife from Jack Wolf. So I'm going to set that up there, and I'll open it out just so you can see it's beautiful, and it looks like a traditional patterned knife. Now, it's a modern interpretation, which has always been Jack Wolf's motto, their modern interpretation. But to me, I see a slip joint. I can see the traditional all over it. When I put this down, I see a slip joint pattern, loose pattern to a traditional knife. This looks like a gun stock, very popular model. And the gun stock, the first one that Jack Wolf brought out, was a gun stock. And this is just this is like a gun stock that's gone to the gym. It's a little bit bigger. Now, I'm going to open this up and I'm going to set this down. You can see the difference in the blade size. This is a much, not much bigger, but it's a bigger blade, a bigger handle, but that gun stock. And again, the gun stock with just one blade is one of the most comfortable knives to hold in your hand. Full stop. To me, one of the most comfortable to hold. So, as far as aesthetics goes, it is the Jack Wolf aesthetic. I mean, it really is that, just a functional slip joint. Although this one's a locking knife. And there's the big difference. But when you're looking at them like this, they look very similar. You can tell straight away that it's a Jack Wolf. The bit that we're not used to is when you turn it over and you see this beautifully anodized clip. Titanium. It is absolutely fantastic. Goes in and out of the pocket. It takes, I'll have to say, it was a wee bit stiff at first, but just when I was putting it in my pocket, I was just catching it like that and sliding it. Now, bear in mind, I'm wearing jeans, so this isn't super deep, but I'm wearing jeans. But now it just slips straight in. After I've been using it for 2 days, in and out of my pocket, cutting up things in the kitchen, doing a bit of cardboard cutting up. Nothing heavy, but I don't do that with any of my knives. And then you get a bolster lock, which you can see there. Beautiful lock up on that bolster lock. Absolutely love it. It really is beautiful. The carbon fiber in this, again, is vibrant. It's alive. It is just stunning. The blade, absolutely perfect. The clip point that he's doing now, I love the swoosh to it. It's just beautiful. The long pull we have now instead of a nail like we had on the first one, really, really love that. And for a number of reasons, which we'll see very shortly. Now, here's where for me, this doesn't get up to the standard. For me, now, and we can only be honest as reviewers, we can only be honest. A lot of the reviewers out there are more modern people. I'm a sort of traditionalist. Now, I'm not a strict traditionalist. I mean, that's one of my favourite knives of all time. Never mind Jack Wolf, of all time, that is one of my favourite. This nearly met the mark of getting up there. The only thing for me, as a sort of knife lover that I am, is this bit here. I'm not a front flipper person, but I gave myself a couple of days. I thought, like, a couple of days, I'm going to try it. Even in my normal collection, I don't have any front flippers. I think I might have had one, maybe two. It was a wee tiny one I got. And I just didn't get on with it. It's not me. So that's fine. But it wouldn't have been enough to stop me buying this, or would it? And that's the question that's the question that's in my head. Now, I can't front flip. I have tried for 2 days. I'm fecking useless at it. I absolutely cannot get it. I just can't get it. I'm not even going to keep on trying, because I think out of all the times I've been trying it, half a dozen times I've probably flicked it open. But for those that can, by gosh, it snaps out absolutely perfectly. Snaps out a gem, but I just can't do it. So, but there's another reason why. Because we're doing modern traditionals. Yeah, I like modern, all right, but I think you'll alienate an awful lot of people who don't like a front flipper. I, to me, in all honesty, for me, and I'm only speaking about me, not everybody I've seen so far loves a front flipper. I just don't get a front flipper, and I don't get a front flipper in a modern traditional. I still, because it's not. There's nothing I can think of as traditional. Now, the a couple of other little tiny things that sort of, for me, I'm not over keen on. It's on ball bearings. This is so loose. It doesn't drop shutty as such, but you feel nothing. The bearings are so good, you feel nothing. And again, some people will love that. To me, not so keen, I'm afraid. Also, and I know, Ben, look, I hope you accept this. This is just my version. Do you know? Anyway, look, I'll just get on, and I'll do my thing at the end of it. You have the what takes the place off a back spring, and again, it's got that Italian sort of cutaway where you see that long gap down each side. I'm so used to Jack Wolf knives like this, where they're just absolutely flush and beautiful. Now, this is beautifully done. It looks well. It's got color. It's got pop. I still would have liked the hafted finish. Don't know why, but it's just me. I love the way it comes round. I think that is beautiful. Really do. And I love the way you have to take it apart to take the clip off. And I haven't really decided whether I want the clip on or clip off. But let's get back to this. This is solid as a rock. Yeah. But when I put this up against it, this one reminds me, it's as if it's full. It's just so, I feel as if I could do most things with it. With the gapping, you've got small ball bearings in it, which you can't bring it into the side if you like. When you muscle it, if you get to the end, it's not that there's any movement, but the blade in total moves because of the pressure you're putting on the blade. You can see that there. It's not a whole lot, but it's just, there's something about it that's just not fitting in my eyes. Which is a shame. The jimping, I think, is perfect. Absolutely some of the best jimping. That is absolutely gorgeous. My thumb is locked there. Love it. And if I want to go forward, I can here because there's no fear this is not a slip joint. So the locking mechanism is fantastic. I love it. And it's nice to have a locking knife. And, I don't know many knives people, I've got lots of them. So there's times where I like a locking knife, and the rest of the time I like the slip joint. That's a sharp point. Now, this is going to sound like I'm just running this knife down, and I'm really not. I'm just trying to be honest. For me, the other part of this knife is you can do this with it. Oh, you see, and I've lost touch with, there we go. It comes out beautifully. It is just a joy to flip it out with a middle finger. Not something I do a whole lot, but I actually do enjoy that. Now, there's the problem. To me, this is too loose, because if you get your finger down to the bottom here, there's a good chance you're going to feel it until you find out where you're going to put your finger, and then you can do it, and that's fine. But it's not. It doesn't make me feel completely joyous. I think, for me personally, I would rather have washers, and the tight mate up on either side. I would definitely not want a front flipper on a. It's just not my thing. I'm just not into front flipping. I mean, with this long pull, I think it is fantastic. I would like opening it like this. And I just would like opening it, but I like it to feel more in contact. I want to feel more in touch with it. So a stronger detent would definitely be what I'd want. And yes, leave it so that it's not tight, so that you can do this flick. I mean, that is fantastic, but it is weak, as in detent. I would want it a bit strong. Now, it sucks it in beautifully, really beautiful. But you just have that wee thing where this is just weak, and it's not something that is appealing to me. But I would like that kept on it. Look, not that Ben's going to change for me, but I would like this have a stronger detent. But I think washers, I'm not keen on these bearings at all, because I think it gives it that. And it's so loose, it's so smooth. It really is smooth. There's no wiggle, no wobble. It just comes straight out. But I think I would like it just a little bit stronger so that I can feel the difference. And I think, to be honest with you, it's because of this that we have such a loose knife. If that makes any sense to you, it's such a loose knife. Now, and I've said all the things that sort of I just haven't fallen in with this one. There's a couple I've had to think about, but this one I've had 2 days now, and sort of from about 2 hours after the opening, I started to feel the things that just didn't sit well with me. So I'm just being honest, folks. I'm not running this down. If you like a front flipper, I'm sure this is absolutely fantastic. It flies out. It really does. Just not for me. To me, it's a step. I don't need 3 opening modes of a knife. 2 I can cope with absolutely fine. Maybe it's the fact that I'm an old bugger, and that could be a lot to do with it. I'm a bit sort of, I'm still a traditional person, but I love the modern traditional. For the steels, for the work that goes into a modern traditional. This, I love the pocket. I love the pocket clip so far. Now, whether I'm going to keep it on or not, I don't know. But I think there's a good chance that I will keep it on it. And this is not going to stop me using this knife, because I love the fact that this is I can put it in my pocket. Love this. I love the fact that it's locking. I've nothing against the lock, and it is done perfectly well. And even with the gentlest of, you do not need to slam this back to get the lock to come on. Look how gentle. That is fantastic. That is workmanship. I can see that, and I love that. And that's so positive for this knife. I like the way it sucks it in. My only thing is, I don't like this being so weak in a traditional knife, because I don't feel as I've got control over it, or so. I can't tell you. It's just that's too loose for a traditional knife. And this is a modern traditional. I accept all that, but I still look at this and think traditional, modern traditional. The pattern is going to invoke that older knife. But there's some things about older knives I wouldn't want to change. Like this, once you break the detent on this, which is just sexy, right? There's control. You can feel the tension. So I really do like that. Even if I didn't have the middle finger flick, I love the fact that there's that long filler to open it, which is the way we have with Jack Wolf's knives. But the lock, the clip, and that side of a modern traditional, I think is fantastic. I would like the washers, the so and a tighter, this. I don't know why this is bothering me so much. I don't know why. There's the gaps down either side. I don't know why. It's just something about. I would rather even push that in a wee bit with two washers, or put two big washers in it. That's probably another, like Chris Reeve and these other high end knives. Them big copper washers in there would just be absolutely fantastic looking, and it would make it, to me, just it give it that feeling of solidity, that structure that I want in a knife, especially at a traditional knife. But I love the lock. I genuinely do love the lock. Yeah, to get that modern flick out, yes, I can understand. But I think washers, you could still, the washers, you should still be able to flick out with the washers. I would have thought. I don't want this ultra tight, like this. I don't want that half stops or anything. I just think with a couple of big washers in there, that once that breaks in, you'd be able to, flick it out, no problem. That just. I'm not trying to put people off buying this knife. If this is sort of thing you do, look, the one thing I can always say with my hand on my heart is that when Ben makes a knife, it is a thing of beauty, and he puts so much heart and soul into it. And it is a thing of beauty, but the biggest thing is it's well made. This is a perfectly well made knife. It is just, the fit finish is, there's no difference. The fit and finish, everything about this is as good as any knife of these made whatsoever. Me, it's just that front flipper. I cannot get, for me, I just can't get it. I don't like this sticking up the top. I love the fact that it's a sunken bolster nearly, so just to round that off, which, to be honest, I would nearly, but the only thing is you can't round it off because this meets here. So, honest opinion, I think we went one step too far for me, and it's that front flipper. I think I would have loved this to flick out with my middle finger or whatever finger you wanted to use. I would take this off because the jimping's in the perfect place. You could add another couple of jimps up front if you really needed to. But I would take the flipper thing of it off, and then ball bearings. I'm not keen on the ball bearings at all. It just makes it, there's no feel. That's really sad to say. And I'm not sad for the knife because it's a fantastic knife. An absolutely fantastic knife. I genuinely mean that. Yeah, I could get over that. It wouldn't even bother me. Wouldn't bother me in the slightest. But I'm not keen on the loose ball bearing fit. The pocket clip is fantastic. The shape, the look of the knife is fantastic. To me, it's solely down to this front flipper. And this was sort of built around the front flipper, which is why this is so light. Otherwise, you're not, I can't even do it when it's this light, you know what I mean? So, it's just it's a shame. It's a shame that doesn't fit my eye and my likes. But that's all I'm trying to be, is just be honest. People don't see front flippers in my channel. If all of a sudden I get a knife and I'm, whoa, this is a bit, it just wouldn't be honest. And the one thing I want to do is be honest about my Jack Wolf reviews. So, Ben, I'm sorry, this is not meant to be negative, but yeah, I have to give it out for maybe other people like me who are, like you are. You're a traditional man yourself. I just think for me it went the one tip's too far. I'm not ready for a front flipper on a traditional looking knife. And I think that's all there is to it. Everything else, I love having this as a locking knife. I think it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I can honestly see me rounding this end off. And yeah, it'll leave a bit of a gap there, but I don't think it's going to affect the knife at all. There'll be a bit of a hole there, but that's not going to affect me. This is a fantastic working knife. And when it's locked up, if you want to, You can do anything with this. So that's maybe something I'll have to get round to, is maybe getting this. I just don't, it breaks the look of that. It's terrible. Right, I'm going to stop running it down, because I'm not running it down. It's just things that didn't fit with my eye. The behind the edge thickness, everything about this. I genuinely am surprised at how much I love the locking version of it. I mean, that is modern enough for me, is a locking traditional knife. It really is. I mean, I love a back lock too, but this is special. This is lovely. I love the bolster lock, so you're not worried about where your fingers are going to be. I love this clip. The carbon fiber just seems to get better and better every iteration. And that clip is just, that's Ben. That to me just says Ben. When I look at it like that there, it says Ben. So is this worth buying? Do you want to know something? If you like a front flipper, you'll probably love this, because everybody I've seen using it gets it to work absolutely fine. I just didn't. I don't get on with them. And to be honest, I could have tried harder probably, but I don't want the front flip. I just don't want to. So that's the only thing that puts it off for me. The front flip, the bearings I didn't like, because it makes this too loose. I would like, I would like to be able to, and I don't even know if that's possible, because I've never thought about it. I wouldn't mind, a little bit more tension on this with the bearings. I think you'll get that until they wear in. And you see, that's what I keep doing with this. When I'm doing it, it's so loose. You have to get it in the right place. And if you're somebody that's used to doing that, but I'm not, do you know what I mean? And to be honest with you, as I'm standing here now, when I take this out of my pocket, I'll do this. And I'll use it. The rest is sort of I can't even get the word. It's more than I need, is that, one opening. Two, I could accept that was a bit, if the detent was a bit stronger, I would be able to do that, not a problem whatsoever, every time. It doesn't even need to be that much stronger, but I'm just finding it very unusual, because I carry slip joints all the time, just to change over one day to carry this and then have to get used to that, where to put my finger. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Look, I'm not sorry. I think because I've built up a really lovely relationship with Ben, and I feel as if I can be honest, it's the only reason I'm doing this. Because for me, this is and it is just my opinion. I might be the only person out there that wouldn't be annoyed by this. And when I got it, it was just so exciting. I always knew there's flipper. I'm going to learn this. I still can't manage a flipper. To use my middle finger, it's a bit loose for me. I'm not that well equipped to use this, because I'm a traditional sort of a guy. And I know there's a market out there with your modern traditional people. It's fantastic. And if it's for you, if that's the sort of thing that you want, this will fulfill all your dreams, because it's just so well made. Yeah, it is so well made. It's just not for me this time. And I hope Ben accept. Well, I know Ben will accept what I'm doing. He doesn't. Ben doesn't want yes men. That's not what he wants. And yeah, they're expensive knives to get once a month. But I mean, I get this free. And if I felt I couldn't say this, I wouldn't say it. But I feel as if I can say it, and that is the good thing, that I can be honest. Because these knives to me are very important, because I sort of feel as if I've been along for the ride, and making this is just a wee bit hard for my friend. And then I have to pull myself in and think, hold on, Paddy, you're just a knife lover who likes what you like, and we're all like that. So this is not running the knife down. This is me being honest with. I think it was just one step, and that's the flipper, too far. And the bearings I don't like in a traditional knife as such. I think it's just too loose for me. I don't get that. I want that feeling of opening a knife up. Right, I'm away. Thank you very much for watching. Again, this is my opinion completely. The nice thing is Ben is on my podcast tomorrow night. So Ben will get his chance to give me a dig in the nose, or we can have a chat about it. But there we go. and they'll be released next Friday. So tomorrow night we'll talk to Ben, and I'll put a list down tomorrow night underneath in the description of the places in Europe where you can buy this knife this time round. So thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow on the podcast. Tonight I'm on the podcast with RJ's Knives. Please come along and watch that. RJ's Knives. We have the podcast every week. If you don't know, we just sit and talk about knives. It can be anywhere from an hour and a half to 3.5 hours it was last week. And we just talk. And that's it. Just 5 old men usually sitting around. Well, and we got one hippie with us as well. Slipjoint Sawyer's there. Sorry, I just can't resist it. He's so young and good looking. And then there's us 4 old mottled men sitting there. Anyway, take care. I'll see you tomorrow.